Hey guys, Tait here. Today we're talking about the meta model. And I wanted to talk about one in particular, and that is part of the meta model, or one of the patterns that you can pick up. Now remember, the meta model is all about specificity. I can't even say it. Being specific, right? We want to really get specific. And the very first thing we do when we're trying to get specific is we ask how, what, where, and who. Figure out, if you're stuck, well, how are you getting stuck? Or where are you getting stuck? Or what are you getting stuck with? Or who are you getting stuck with? And how is that becoming a problem for you, right? So you get under the surface. It's called the meta model. It's very specific. It was modeled on this wonderful therapist in the 70s, 80s called Virginia Satir. And this is what the NLP founders, John Grinder and Richard Bandler. Richard Bandler and John Grinder had modeled these people. And he modeled them in such a way that we can use them for ourselves. Because they were so incredibly effective at getting under the surface. And actually getting a great result for their clients. So I thought, well, why not use that? They thought, why not use that for our own healing, our own progress, our own movement forward, and get under the surface if you're thinking, so that you can actually know exactly where to do the work. And so that's what this is all about. So the very first thing is to say who, how, what, where are you getting stuck? Right? If it's just the word stuck to start with, and think of your problem and ask yourself this question: where am I getting stuck? Who specifically? How specifically? Where specifically? How is that becoming a problem? Right? So you get under the surface. Once you've elicited a bit more information about that problem state, you then move into the next phase, and that is, there's a whole range of them, and I'll just go through one of them right now, because there's like 14 different patterns inside the meta model or meta programs, but then there's the language inside that. And this very first one that I want to talk about is called nominalizations. They've got some funky words inside these, the linguistic people, but this is all about turning a noun into a verb, because what we've done is we've turned a verb into a noun. So I am stuck, right? Now, the rule of thumb is, if you're stuck and you can't put that thing inside a wheelbarrow, I can put an orange in a wheelbarrow, I can put a shovel in a wheelbarrow, I can put a pillow in a wheelbarrow, but I can't put stuck in a wheelbarrow, right? So if someone has gone and turned stuck into a thing, let's turn it back into a verb. Really, really simple. And so what we're doing is we're turning it into something that is empowering. Because when something is a thing, it's doing it to you. But when something is a verb, you can do it differently. It becomes empowering. And so what are we doing? We're just looking for ing words to change it up. So you think about, I am stuck. Well, what's an ing word that might describe that? So how are you, if you're stuck, so it sounds like you're holding yourself back, ing. Or how are you holding yourself back? Or how are you keeping yourself from moving forward? Or how are you, what's another one? Forcing yourself to stop. Or how are you stopping yourself from progress? So it's about putting an ing to realize, oh, I'm actually doing this to myself. It's a very different way of thinking. I'm doing this to myself. And so with that, you're changing how you are structuring the language. You're changing how you're perceiving it. And it's a meta program going on inside of you that is stopping you from moving forward. So think about that for yourself. How are you doing this thing? And so here's the statement you would say to yourself, or your kids, or your workmates, or your partner, whoever it is. How are you stopping yourself from moving forward now? Right? And then they're going to unpack how they're doing it to themselves. Do you get the difference here? How you're doing it to yourself. It's powerful. It's a very small little shift, but it's a really great piece if you're a coach. It's a really great piece if you're moving yourself forward. It's a great piece to coach yourself. I use this on myself all the time. How am I stopping myself here? Now, how am I stopping myself? Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Now, here's the flip. Now, this is the benefit part. This is where this video is worthwhile watching. So how am I stopping myself now? I turned it into a verb. And then the next part is, well, how could I stop stopping myself? What's the positive of that? How could I go into action? How could I be doing something that will stop me from being stuck? How can I becoming more aware of what's going on? How can I actually know what I want instead? How can I put work into that? How can I actually move forward? So what's an example? Let's get a bit more specific, getting very meta model. How specifically, Matt, are we going to be stuck and getting ourselves out of this? Okay, let me answer. So if you're stuck, it means that, let's give a specific example. I'm stuck in, let's go with marketing my business, okay? I'm not marketing my business, that's where I'm stuck. Okay, so how are you not marketing your business? Well, whenever I go to do a video and put it on YouTube, I don't know, let's just use this as an example, I find myself holding back. Right, well, how are you doing that specifically? Well, I go to do the video and then something happens and I'll put things in the way. There's something holding me back, right? So what do you want instead? Well, I'd like to when I'm inspired, do the video. Okay, right, well, maybe there's some things in your ecology in the way, right? You can see how we can get under the surface here. Maybe there's something going on because you've got kids and it's not the right time to do videos because you can't do the videos with the kids around, right? Whatever it might be. Or there might be, maybe it's time because you're supposed to do the shopping now. So maybe you could plan a little bit better. Maybe you could have the content already written out roughly so that you're ready to go. Maybe you don't fully believe in the ideas yet and you need to test the ideas before you put them on YouTube. Whatever it is, you can see how we're getting to a solution or at least an action where you can help them to move forward just enough for them so that they have moved beyond the stuck state and they're doing something. Just the one little action is all I'm looking for, right? Because here's something I heard from another coach, it was Richmond Din, and he said this fantastic statement that clarity precedes action. No, action precedes clarity, that's what it is. You've got to act first and then you get clear later because your brain figures it out when it sees it in front of you, when it sees it in front of its own eyes. Oh, now I can do it. Whereas when it stays all stuck up here, we stay stuck. Now think about a situation where you're stuck, where you're not moving forward, and you can get underneath the surface of it. Turn it into a doing word, and the solutions start to unpack. This is what happens in my coaching sessions with my clients. It is super valuable. It's called the meta model. It's about getting really specific about where I'm stuck, and then getting really specific about one action you can do today to move yourself forward. It's called the meta model. Get specific in the problem and get specific in the solution, and you can move forward. It's amazing. It's powerful. I hope that has served you today, and I will see you in the next video. This is Matthew Tait from Fork in Road Coaching, and as always, like, subscribe to the channel. If you're getting value from this, and you'll get my videos on a regular basis as I upload them. Go check out the meta model. There's lots of videos, and I'll do more because there's 14 patterns inside the meta model, and then there's language patterns inside of that. So it's a very amazing tool and something that you can use to get specific. Well, how specifically? The meta model. Fantastic. I'll see you in the next video.